This program is about lawmaking. It's a snapshot portrait of the Kentucky Legislature. All it takes to start the process of lawmaking is for one person in this crowd maybe, to say, hey, there ought to be a law. At the beginning of the legislative session, the legislators gather in the House to hear the governor's ideas for new laws. But whether the idea comes from the governor or from any average citizen, the process is always the same. You take your idea to a lawmaker who's been elected to help you make it into a law. You'll have a lot of meetings trying to figure out exactly what you want the law to be.
This is their amendment, which we've got in the budget. It's just not in the bill.
Okay, so we already...
I'll review it again with your all staff and everything to make sure we got everything right before I introduce it.
Right. Look through this copy.
Okay.
Then you enlist the experts from the Legislative Research Commission who know how to write up a law.
Sections 14, 15, and 16 give the licensing people some more direction on how to improve compliance and what penalties.
You know, if they willingly do it, they're not going to do many penalties or anything.
Right.
Okay.
After it's written and all typed up, the lawmaker takes it over to the Senate, if he's a senator, or to the House, if he's a representative, to introduce it. It can start out in either place, but to become a law, it eventually has to pass both the House and the Senate. The representative tries to get some other representatives to sign on as sponsors of the bill, because this helps him rally support.
Hi. This is Early Childhood Development Bill. You said you wanted to co-sponsor with me?
Oh, yeah.
Here. That's one reason I agreed to sponsor this thing. You want to co-sponsor my Early Childhood Development Bill?
What is it?
That's dealing with these children starting from the time they're conceived till they're 5 years old. They'll have
Let me think about it and look at it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
After the lawmaker introduces the bill, it's assigned to a committee. The House and Senate have about 15 committees each. The committee is a place where experts and average citizens can come and explain to the legislators what they think is good and bad about a bill.
The final question, was there any consideration given to a tax deductibility for child care in the state of Kentucky?
It just didn't rise to the top as a priority for...
People disagree. That's the point, to hear all sides.
That is a priority.
Did you ask me to increase funding for that program in this year's budget?
Yes.
You did not, sir. Again,
But I understand all
in preparation of this budget,
Yes.
I'm not aware of you asking us to look at this subject.
The legislators listen, then have to decide if the bill has merit. If they don't like it, it can die right there. And it's all over for your bill until the next session. So at every stage, citizens try to grab the legislators in the hall and argue their case for or against a bill.
Awareness or expertise and that knowledge.
I intend to fight for everything that's in the bill right now.
Some people pay other people to lobby for them. There are seminars at the beginning of the session which present the rules to lobbyists.
My job this morning is to try to give you just a few tips and pointers about what you need to do to be an effective lobbyist. So the first thing is you need to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You need to tell both sides of the issue. Your side, the other guy's side.
What is this bill?
His bill is the one that would stop the cabinet from writing regulations. Here it is. And so it would eliminate the setbacks in integrated liability. It says the cabinet can't write any regulations.
I really haven't decided about this.
That are...
I don't know about this.
If the committee votes for the bill, it passes out of the House committee and goes to the floor of the House. Now it's time for the lawmaker to strategize. He makes a plan for the introduction to all the members of the House that he hopes will convince them to vote for it.
I'm just going to do a rough overview of the bill and then yield as we go down the line section by section. I'll yield to Steve.
The House will come to order. Members, please take their seats.
Finally, your bill is up for a vote.
Mr. Speaker, I move, sir, House Bill 706 be taken its place orders today, but third time its title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion made and seconded. House Bill 706 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Without objection, so ordered. Folks, this is an important piece of legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I served on the Governor's Early Childhood Task Force along with 24 individuals representing business, education, government.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
As planned, 6 more people speak for the bill. Then the lawmaker has to defend it.
I'm asking you what happens when this tobacco trust fund quits.
Where do we go from there?
This is my opinion, Mr. Speaker, that I believe the people of Kentucky will step up because
The debate goes on and on into the evening.
Recognizes lady from Clay 90.
This is a good bill. Let's just go ahead and vote on this thing and get out of here.
The gentleman from Jefferson.
move for passage, Mr. Speaker.
Motion made and seconded for the adoption of House Bill 706. Any ready for the vote? Clerk, sound the chimes. Does any member wish to change or explain his or her vote? Roll call machine showing House Bill 706 is adopted.
Okay, so now your bill's passed the House. Now you have to start all over again in the Senate. Same thing. It goes to the floor of the Senate. The Senate assigns it to a committee. The committee votes for it. It goes back to the Senate floor for discussion and vote. At any stage, your bill can die because members vote against it or because the leadership doesn't even call it for a vote. Important note. The party that has the most members gets to choose the leadership of that House and the head of every single committee. And whoever controls those positions decides when and if the bill will be called. If you think this is all very complicated, remember that the Founding Fathers made it that way on purpose. Complexity creates lots of opportunities for input and keeps the process from being dominated by one faction. Sometimes it gets so complex, even the leaders have to interrupt the session and look up in their little rule books what to do next.
Matter before the body is the adoption of House Bill 706 with Floor Amendment 1.
Amendments. Mustn't forget amendments. In the committee or on the floor, a lawmaker may decide to add a new idea to the bill as an amendment. Sometimes an amendment can transform the original bill.
Mr. President, with this floor amendment on the bill, I'd have to vote no.
So the bill can't become law with a new idea attached until it goes back to the originating House for approval. If approved, it goes to the governor for signature and then becomes law. Time to celebrate. But if that bill with the amendment attached isn't approved, then it goes into conference committee. That committee is made up of some lawmakers from the Senate and some from the House. This is where they sit down at a table, roll up their sleeves, and argue it out until they can agree on a final bill. Who gets chosen to be on the conference committee can be crucial. Oh, one more thing. Not a little thing either. The governor can veto your bill. But if the governor vetoes it, you can still go back to the legislature, and if you gather enough votes, you can get them to overturn the veto. During a session, as many as 1,000 bills can be introduced. Too many to absorb, much less vote on. By the end of the 12-week session, there's a crunch. It's dramatic. The Capitol during the legislative session is an exciting place. If you go there, you'll find they're passing bills all around you that would affect what you eat and drink, the air you breathe, your access to medical care, and your wallet every time you spend a dime. We followed 3 bills through one legislative session. Some people thought it was unfair that insurance companies paid back so little for mental health, so they submitted a bill to fix that. There was a bill concerning how much the state could regulate you if you had 100,000 chickens. The governor wanted to spend more on safeguarding and educating kids under 5.